Give me
pick up on the trash
Joey.
again. So,
You're the only rapper.
Simon, I was very happy to have a chance to coach Simon this year. The backstory with Simon is that he, after playing through majors in Orange Little League, he, went to Orange Olive Pony. Last year as a 13-year-old, I was one of the defectors, and that's fine. It's different, and he was ready for a change, and they had a good opportunity over there, and had a good experience for everything that I gather, which made it even harder for me to try to recruit him back. And that was like one of my, actually I think when I made it official that I was taking the junior team, I think the first person I texted was his mom and said, hey, I want Simon to be on my team. And unfortunately it was late enough in the game, I don't know, it was November, December, where he had already committed to, his former coach back at Orange Olive Pony, so luckily I'd kind of laid some groundwork. I'd seen, Julie and her husband at a couple, social gatherings, and kind of laid the groundwork a little bit and let them know there's a good chance I'd be coaching juniors. I'd love to have Simon play for me again, and so it wasn't a total surprise when they got the text message, but I was happy that they made the decision to come and
it was
come back to Orange and play on this team. And you had to, and did it right though. Had to make that tough phone call to the other coach to let him know that. And I wanted to make sure they made that phone call to let him know that they were going a different direction. And it was early enough in the game where it wasn't leaving him short-handed or anything. So I didn't feel that bad about it. I was happy to get Simon back. And I got to tell you, Simon, for a guy who, I really just was happy to have Simon back, to catch for me, because that's really what he'd become for me over the years that he played for me in Little League, was a really good left-handed catcher. I'm not traditional like where my catchers have to be right-handed. Simon likes to catch, and he's, a headsy guy, and he's a good leader back there, and he's a good catcher. And so, that you got to kind of build a team. You got to make sure you have a catcher. It would be hard to go with a guy who's never caught before at this level. And so I was happy to have Simon just for that. But and I knew he dabbled in pitching some. He pitched for me a little bit when he was younger, but he was just a little bit too wild to throw him out there on a consistent basis. And his mom told me on a pretty regular basis that that he had pitched a lot since he'd played for me, and but it's coming from mom, so you never know. And so, but I mean, he's a lefty, and I always thought he could do it. And man, I was sold fairly quickly, when I saw Simon pitch, and saw how he really had developed as a pitcher and could throw strikes consistently and had that second pitch and being left-handed, gave him an advantage, and just made him really, he was really a big part of this team. I mean, he can make such a difference as a pitcher, but it's sometimes tough because you got to remember, when he's catching, every time he receives a pitch, he has to throw the ball back to the pitcher. So when he comes to pitch, he may not be, exerting himself like the pitcher on those throws, but still, he's been using his arm too, as well as the pitcher that he had been catching. So for Simon to come in and pitch after catching, pretty much most of the times he pitched, I was super proud of the way he handled that. Never complained, never said, no, coach, it's too much on my arm. I mean, always, was happy to do both, wanted to be that involved and have a chance to make that kind of a difference, because at those positions, you have a big influence on the success of the team. And Simon definitely had a lot to do with the success that we had on the field this year. And I know that his mom's, main goal, and Simon's too, was to put himself in the best situation to be, as prepared as possible to play at the next level. And there's no doubt in my mind, I know the Orange high school coach is already excited about, the good core guys that we have from this team going to Orange High School. So I think, they already are coming in kind of with, a good, a good name, and as guys that, know the game and can play the game and can help Orange High School. So I'm looking forward to see Simon play for the next 4 years. Good job, Simon. Yes.